Let's go, girls. Welcome to Talk Wealthy to Me. I'm Michelle Taylor, founder of Women in Wealth. From breaking money myths to building wealth and achieving financial freedom, we're here to empower you to create your own path. Talk Wealthy. Now, join the conversation and let's change the way women think and feel about money. Okay, ready? Today's guest is Tonya Turrell, founder and CEO of TechnologyMatch.com, an entrepreneur, strategist, and someone who knows firsthand what it means to rebuild from rock bottom. After facing the painful reality of shutting down a failing business, filing bankruptcy, Tonya made a decision that would completely transform her life and career. Instead of staying stuck in failure, she chose reinvention. What followed was the creation of multiple successful startups, including Leads on Demand, which scaled rapidly and was acquired in just 4 short years. But what makes Tonya's story so powerful isn't just the business success. It's the mindset shift behind all of it. She learned how to move from survival mode and constant hustle into building systems, strategies, and sustainable growth. And that was all rooted in creativity and innovation. Today, through Technology Match and her work in technology and business development, she is helping entrepreneurs evolve with the changing landscape of business while embracing resilience, adaptability, and long-term vision. This conversation is all about reinvention, prosperity, and what becomes possible when you stop seeing failure as the end of your story. Hi, everybody. Okay, so today I am joined by Tonya Turrell. And if I even tried to do the introduction, I wouldn't do it justice. She is a dear friend, an inspiration, a peer that I get to spend time with. And I'm just always so impressed by you. And I'm so happy that you're here. So welcome.
Thank you.
I, without further ado, would love for you to tell the audience about you and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So I am a 3 times founder. My current venture is Technology Match. We rebranded. So just found out there's still the old brand out there, the Launchpad, but we rebranded as Technology Match last year. And we're mid-pivot right now, actually. So we have historically, it's my 3rd business. I've always supported IT buyers on the buying journey. And what that looks like in the form that we do it in today is lead generation for tech companies. So we're connecting IT buyers to sellers, and we have a buyer-driven marketplace. Mm-hmm. And there's so much shifting in the market with AI. We're actually moving more towards sales enablement and supporting vendors in converting those leads now. So we've got, in the next couple of months, we're going to be releasing 2 or 3 AI tools to help sales reps at enterprise tech companies convert those leads and serve IT buyers, IT leaders better.
How in the world do you keep up with all of this? Because I feel like it changes every single day.
It changes all the time. It changes all the time. And it is, my vision when I started this company was to build a matchmaking platform, mm-hmm. like a dating site, mm-hmm. to help IT buyers source enterprise tech. And that would be an inherently more closable lead than demand generation, right? But with AI, there's so much more possibility of what we can do and the different ways we can serve. So we just keep looking at, what does the tech do now? Where can we go now? But yeah, I don't want to play the catch-up game forever.
I know. Well, and I'll tell you transparently, and I'm so sure that you and I have even talked about this, and I know I've said it on the podcast, technology is not a strong suit of mine. So I cannot imagine for somebody like yourself who is, we'll say an expert in IT. And if it's changing for you, for people like me, you can imagine. I just feel like I'm always chasing my tail, but it forces me to keep learning and growing and all of the things. But it's moving like never before.
It's exponential. And, thank you for all the credit, expert in IT. I would say technology is my weak suit too.
But compared to me, you're still probably closer to an
I
expert.
have a technical co-founder for the tech side where I really play is in the sales conversion, the lead generation, and the tech buying and selling. So it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me to even keep up. But I remember my CTO saying, maybe 2 years ago, he said, with what's coming, Yeah, this is over 2 years ago. He said, with what's coming, we really have to think about pivots and leverage AI in different ways.
It's so funny that you say that because I just had a conversation with another guest on another episode, and she was talking about how because of AI, it's like constantly, you can never almost feel safe and sound. You
No.
always are thinking, okay, what is this going to impact my business so that I'm ready for it
Yeah.
and not left behind
Yeah.
because your competitors won't be.
Yeah, I know. And anyone coming to the game today with AI background, AI experience, AI knowledge, they can spin up companies overnight.
It's wild.
Yeah. The thing that took us, 4 years to build, if we started today, could build it in a few months, maybe weeks.
So for people like us that are, in the same age box, we're not 20.
Mhm.
And remember the Jetsons? Like, I feel like
We're in that age.
yeah, back in the day, you'd look at it and think like, oh, in the year 2000, there's going to be flying cars. And it was a
Yeah.
big joke because we didn't come anywhere near that. But I feel like we are speeding towards
We are.
craziness with all of this
Yeah.
faster than ever before.
We are. It's crazy what we can do now with the tools available to us. And I think for me, staying ahead of it is critical
Mm-hmm.
to the point of being ready to exit.
Yeah.
And that exit is looking more and more attractive because it's exhausting trying to keep up with it. It's exhausting to look at, like, we have to constantly look ahead and ask ourselves, where is this heading? Where is the tech going? What's possible with it? And what are our competitors going to do?
And then how am I preparing for it?
Yeah.
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 Well, okay. So this is the current business, but you referenced a second ago, this is your third business. So what were the other ventures and how did you evolve into this one?
The first business was a spectacular failure.
As so many great entrepreneurs
Yes.
can start their stories the same.
Yeah, it was lead generation for tech. It's the background that I came out of. My second big job out of college. So we did internet yellow pages. This is like dating it for real. AOL around 2003 is when I started it. And it was when AOL was growing their IYP product. And we were doing telephone sales for them back then.
The grit that helped you build is likely a huge reason why we're here today.
It was soul-sucking work. It really was.
The kiddos nowadays just don't understand, like
Yeah.
whipping out the yellow pages and cold calling and
convincing people that this is where it's headed. Like, we're moving away from physical yellow pages and it's headed online, and convincing local merchants to advertise on the internet.
And now they're like,
yeah.
Okay, so that was one. And then what was the second?
That was one. They ended up selling that product off. We kind of diversified with Yahoo search, early days of search. But, it was a big company, very expensive to run, and we were paid on performance. And when the market shifted, especially after 2008, everything shifted. It was just too hard to keep up with. So that was a failure. Shut that business down on a Friday, launched and lost a pretty bad partnership in the process. We had a co-founder that AOL actually put in place with us.
Okay.
Who was a former AOL executive. So lost a bad partnership. He was pulling cash out of the business. We were the young workhorses doing everything. So shut that down on a Friday, launched Leads on Demand on a Monday, kept my core 6 or 7 people from a former team of about 60-ish, 68-ish people, and just drove an inbound model. So rather than cold call, we were driving inbound to us, and we kind of went back to our roots of lead generation for enterprise tech. And that was a huge success. Within 3.5 years, it was on the market. We sold it less than 4 years from the start.
And then you thought, you know what? It was a success, and I'm crazy enough to dive in again and build something one more time.
Yeah. Not quite.
It's funny how that happens, right?
Yeah.
Is like, it's never a failure. It's a lesson, and you just keep going, and somehow as hard as it is, this is
Yeah.
really fun and exhausting, but fun nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, I learned more from the failure than anything else, really. Like I learned everything not to do, and was able to start from a clean slate with the best team. So
Mhm.
even people in my business today, they've been with me through that bankrupted
Oh,
business,
I love that.
then the successful exit, and then they're with me today. So that's
Special.
fun. Yeah, it is. It is really special.
You are in an industry that is, I'd imagine, surrounded, even though, I mean, like when you think about sales and people and that piece of it, your men and women are equally represented. But in the tech space, there's
Primarily,
so
yeah,
many
it's
boys.
male dominated for sure.
Yeah. So how do you navigate that now?
It's tricky. So our clients on the marketing side, I would say are 60-40 women.
Okay.
Unless we're dealing with sales managers, sales directors, or other like product owners,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. But on the marketing side, if it's a marketing contact bringing us the work, it's women. And that's my preference. Women are so lovely to work with. Some of my best partnerships are with, there's one client in particular who is all women. Their entire leadership team
Oh,
is women.
wow.
Even their tech consultants, their IT consultant is a phenomenal woman. So I really
So cool.
enjoy those
Yeah.
relationships. And then, and that's not to say we don't have fantastic
Yeah.
men as clients. But on the IT buyer side, I mean, it's really shocking. On the IT buyer side, we go to conferences like Gartner, rarely see a female IT leader, IT executive. My team has done something like 30,000 plus matches. So that's where we get an IT buyer on the phone with a sales rep from
Okay.
a tech company. We've done about 30,000 matches in the last 5 or 6 years. And I can think of 1 or 2 women among them.
Wow.
It's always brought to my attention because it's so rare. Isn't that wild?
It is
1 or 2
crazy.
out of 30,000?
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But I think for anybody listening, what an opportunity, right? To break into this industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes our differences are strengths.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about that to our kids and to each other all the time. So get in there and, break down some doors
Yeah.
and get more girls in there.
100%, yes. I did a podcast with the client that I was telling you about, GCG, probably last year, and we were talking about why female leadership is so important in IT right now. And my personal opinion is it's more important now than ever before because it's what we were talking about before. Like we're on a rocket ship toward this AI and agentic future. And I think it was the grandfather of AI. He said last year that female leadership, it's not exactly what he said. He said we need to program motherly instincts into AI for our own survival.
Oh my gosh. And how in the world?
Right? So, and his explanation was that in all of nature, there is no example of a higher intelligent being that doesn't dominate a being of lower intelligence other than a mother and her child, where a mother nurtures her child. So we need to program motherly instincts into AI. Jeffrey Hinton, that's his name.
See, it always comes to you or any of us. But okay, so I mean, what an interesting thing to unpack, because I think that what I keep leaning into with AI in this conversation is those little nuances of the human
Yes.
experience. I keep thinking we're never going to be able to teach technology, but that's exactly what they're going to try and do. And then what?
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm so passionate about talking about female leadership in IT right now, because I think it's always needed it. IT's always been very sparse with women in leadership. And the podcast that I was just referencing with GCG, they were bringing to the table all the different ways that just having a female presence in the room of like an IT buying cycle shifts the room, where a woman picks up on nuance in a conversation where, the deal is not going to close, but a woman picks up on the nuance, pauses the meeting, dives into what she's intuiting, and gets the deal on track because she sent something personally.
I'll tell you what. So you know this, but my the founder of the wealth management firm, Claudio, is one of my best friends, and he's the only guy that I've had on the show. And he was telling a story about how women and hiring women to sit in those seats that are, really impacting the big decisions and growth, because we statistically and scientifically have been proven to pick up on, it's something crazy and I'm going to get it wrong, but, like our intuition picks up on thousands of more signs than the guys do.
Yeah.
And so it keeps things moving, and it allows for like time to be saved and money to be saved.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's the cheat code, is having women at the table because their intuition is spot on.
Yeah.
Even when the guy doesn't believe it. He's like, I just defer.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So growing up, how did you end up the version of you that you are today? When it came to money, were you sitting around the table with your family and having conversations? What was that experience like? Were you guys, paycheck to paycheck figuring it out, and you aspired for more? What does that look like?
We didn't talk about money. We just didn't talk about money unless it was a conversation that I overheard with my parents. So my dad was a U.S. Marine, a career Marine. He served in the Marine Corps 30 years. So my entire childhood, I grew up on military bases, Marine bases, Marine air stations specifically. And he was, for the time when we lived in the U.S., he would go overseas a lot. He'd be on a ship 6 months a year.
Oh, wow.
And so the only time I really ever heard money talked about was when he was getting ready to go to the Philippines or Korea or somewhere like that, and would talk about he's going to buy our school clothes and shoes, and he'd measure our sizes and take little cardboard cutouts of our feet because it was so cheap to buy things there.
Yeah.
And so I never felt like we didn't have money. It's only as an adult when I look back that I realize we didn't.
It's so true.
They never let me feel it, and it was never talked about. But he's a career Marine. He was going to get drafted, so he joined the Marine Corps. My mom was raised in post-World War II Japan. So, it was poverty. Like, even if they had cash, they couldn't get food. Like, they'd have money but couldn't buy food.
Right.
So
just a different world.
Yeah, a totally different world.
Do you feel that growing up like that, when you finally were, flying the nest, how did that impact you?
I didn't have any financial literacy at all. At all.
I didn't either.
Yeah. I always made my own money. So I started working very young. Like, both my parents have an incredible work ethic. That's always just been who I am. So I think I started babysitting, and we had family friends who owned a restaurant. So I was like serving tables and washing dishes at about 10 or 11.
Wow.
And then we moved to Japan when I was 12. And they have a youth work program starting at the age of 12. They'd place you in government jobs for the summer to keep kids out of trouble on base.
That's actually probably very effective.
Yeah. $3 an hour. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
But all kinds of odd jobs.
What was your job? What did you do?
All year long, I worked at the Officers Club as a server.
Okay.
And then I had so many crazy jobs. Every summer, I'd do like 3 months of work. And I worked in the provost marshal's office, like developing photos. Like, I was in the darkroom developing pictures of whatever the MPs took photos of.
And I'm sitting here thinking, how many people are going, oh, what is that thing? Like, I remember obviously watching like at Eckerd's them doing it, but yeah, like developing film and pictures.
Developing film in the darkroom. What else did I do? I did filing for like family services. And then I also, because I'm bilingual. My mom's Japanese. So when we lived in Japan, I would work on base because they'd place you and, Officers Club serving gave me cash dollars every day. And then I also had a job out in town in Japan.
Yeah.
So I could earn yen and I could spend yen and dollars. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
And okay, so
I've always earned money.
Yep. And so I think that with that, likely it made you feel a little bit more in control of kind of the approach. But isn't it wild to think that not much has changed in, the last 100 years and probably even, well, I know further beyond that.
Yeah.
We launch these children out into the world. And this is essential to success. And so many of us are not having the conversations. I mean, I was signing up for credit cards on the corner of the intersection to get T-shirts on the way to a football game.
Yeah, I did all that too.
And you're like, oh, what do you mean I'm in debt and I owe all this money? I don't even understand.
Yeah.
It feels like this is a time where it's starting to change.
Yeah.
And I think going back to that maternal instinct, I think that now as we're seeing more women that are, in everybody's faces and feeds, building things that are amazing, it encourages us to change our daughters and our nieces and any young lady that's watching to save them from the years of paying down debt and all of the things that they shouldn't have to do.
I've been having that conversation with my kids. They're, almost 19, almost 21. And we've been having that conversation. I've got them on Monarch where they're, watching. They're aware of all their spend because they've had everything growing up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't remember when times were tough because they were so little.
Mm-hmm.
So they've lived a really nice life. And so my worry for them is what did I teach them? Did I teach them the right things? So still got time with them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and the great thing is the conversations can happen anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
And at least now, I say all the time, young kids, they're absorbing even when you don't think they are.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the ages of your kiddos, they're old enough to get it, where you can say, okay, listen to what I'm saying to you. This is important.
Yeah.
And it'll stick.
Yeah. I mean, both kids work. My oldest works for my company. So he's got a quality manager type job in our company. He's reviewing everything before it goes over to a client. And he's gotten used to making good money. He's not even 21 yet. And he's on and he had the experience of making good money full time. And he's going to school full time. And I see him stress out. I try to encourage him to back down the hours.
Mm-hmm.
But he's had the experience of making a full-time paycheck and he's
he likes it.
He likes it. He likes it.
When you were growing up, what did you envision your career path looking like? Were you always driven to be a business owner?
No.
Do you think what did you want to do?
No, that didn't even seem like a possibility. I didn't know any business owners. I didn't know entrepreneurs. In fact, through my first 2 businesses, I didn't know any entrepreneurs. Is that crazy? Isn't that wild? Until about the time I was ready to sell the last business, which is, I guess, about 11 years ago, I didn't know other entrepreneurs.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Because you and I now, we travel in the same circles and have so many mutual connections. And I feel like the only people we talk to and spend our time with now are female entrepreneurs. And it's so great. But it's just the whole women couldn't have a credit card in their own name. And
I know, very recently. It's shocking. I mean, I don't remember the year exactly, but it's couldn't open a bank account.
1978 or something like that.
It was after I was born, which was shocking to me.
I know. Okay, so you didn't anticipate being an entrepreneur.
No, I didn't even know if it was a possibility. I think, when I went to school, I studied psychology and transpersonal psych. I was really, really interested in the mind. I thought that maybe that's a path I would go down.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing that really, really interested me. I loved writing. I thought I'd be a writer. But by the time I graduated university, had to get a job. And the thought of continuing to pay, like my parents helped for the bachelor's degree. And then anything that I wanted to do beyond that would be on me. And so even though I had a strong work ethic, I didn't want to, and I was in Hawaii, which was so expensive. I was waiting tables with people who had their PhDs in marine biology, and they were still waiting tables to make ends meet.
I remember growing up, and I know I told you this story. I remember being there for cheerleading. I had made All-American and we went over to cheer. And this is in 1997. And I remember 98. And I remember going into the McDonald's across from Waikiki Beach. And back then, like, let's just say one of the meal things or whatever was $3. In Hawaii, it was $12.
Yeah.
And it came with pineapple. And I will never forget my mom and all of the moms being absolutely horrified at the cost. And, you know, the whole trip was very expensive. But when you're 16 years old, those are the kind of little things you remember. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
But it's very expensive. So you got your start like there.
Yeah.
Seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I moved to Florida. And then took a job with a marketing company that did tech lead generation. And that's kind of
here you are.
Yeah. That's how it all started.
And okay, so when I think back to growing up and all of those things, was there something that you thought, you know, while you're working in the summers and traveling all over the place that you're like, okay, when I'm a grown up and when I have made it, was there like this one thing that you wanted to do as an adult that you do today to honor that?
Yes. It's not a thing in particular. And this is going to expose my mom a little bit, but you know, she's a very, very traditional Japanese wife and mother. And so when I started dating, it was all about like, you know, the programming started, the brainwashing started, like find and marry a rich man.
Yeah.
Find and marry a rich man because money matters. And that is the extent of it, was, you know, find and marry a rich man and money matters. And I would always like, it would just make me feel like throwing up every time she said it. And I always thought like, I'm going to be
about that.
I'm going to be the rich man. Like I want to be the one. I want to make the money. I don't ever want to depend on somebody else to enrich my life. Like I want that to be me. And so, yeah, I mean, that's really the only memory that comes up, is just how sick it would make me when she would say that.
Well, you know what's crazy is I think that I think we've all heard that. I remember my grandmother saying to me, it's just as easy to fall in love with someone that's rich as it is that if they're poor.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think, again, we're just changing the narrative as we go, because nowadays I can't tell you, I'd say probably 85% of the women that come on the show are the primary breadwinners. And it's okay. And it's great. And it's wonderful. And it's freeing to be able to do things differently. I can't wait to see what, you know, what's coming down the pipe.
I know. It's so exciting. Like the next generation of girls, like because they have role models, they have examples, they see possibility.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny now that I say that to you, my mom, and I never really asked if my grandmother said that to her. I can only assume that she did. But my mom, when my parents got divorced, she was the total opposite. She went back to work and said, don't ever marry someone in hopes they're going to give you the life you want. You go out and do it. And that's what I held on to.
Yeah.
And
that was my dad.
Yeah. You go.
Luckily, I had
grain,
that voice too. Yeah.
So what have you done differently talking to your kids about money? I know you said, like, obviously they've grown up very, you know, lucky. And I think all of us could say our kids have no idea how good they have it.
Yeah.
But is there something that you feel that was important that you talked to them about or didn't talk to them about that you hope sticks with them?
I think when they were younger, I just didn't have the awareness to talk to them about it.
Yeah.
But when I sold my last business, they were 7 and 9. And at that time, my youngest was having a lot of trouble in school, like ADHD. He had impulse control issues, and he hated school. He wouldn't do schoolwork in school, so he'd bring homework home, and then he hated that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was just a horrific cycle. This was about a year, and I started going down a path of looking at alternative schooling. And the more I sort of investigated schooling, the more I felt my own belief systems starting to crumble around education. And then I just had the epiphany. They're going to school and basically being conditioned to be an obedient worker. And they don't teach them anything meaningful about money. They don't learn anything about money. And so at the time we were selling the business, I made the decision to pull them out of school, and we world schooled. So we started traveling full time for their education.
So cool.
And they learned so much more because they had to plan and budget the trips. And so this is where money started to work its way in. And my husband was doing day trading at the time. So, he started teaching them what compound interest was and what they could do if they set aside a little bit of money at their age. So that's really when we broke away from the school system and started thinking for ourselves about money, we realized there's this massive gap in education. And we're forget what you need to learn about science or whatever is required in school. They kept a blog, they had to write, they did an online math course, and they planned travel, and they learned everything else through the planning of and executing of travel, and then the traveling itself.
And they've grown up to be amazing.
They're incredible young men, and they could talk to anybody. I mean, the whole.
It's all shifted so much because, and again, social media, you see the memes and the things, and it makes you stop and say, holy cow, it's true.
Yeah.
You're not teaching big thinkers and to go against the norm.
Yeah.
My son also has ADHD. And also I think about the struggle for him to sit in a traditional classroom under the constraints of, sitting still and just everything goes against what they're little, especially boys.
Yeah.
And I see so many of my friends have shifted to the homeschooling route and they're happy. And, when we were growing up, nobody did that.
Yeah.
And now it's changed. And I think that you're right. It does. It kind of shakes and sends tremors through everything, the foundation that we know education to be.
Yeah.
Because when
especially now, it's so outdated. My kids are a couple years out of school now, but my youngest, when he was in school, there was already LLMs, they were using ChatGPT, and he wasn't allowed to use it for anything with school. And this is a whole brain learning private school. And I went in and talked to them
right.
This is where it's headed. We need to be teaching them how to partner with it. Yeah. So the fact that, technology is moving at the pace it is, AI is changing the landscape of everything. Schools were outdated before AI, but now there's no chance. There's no chance it'll keep up.
No. Who knows what's going to happen?
I know.
Where did the Jetsons go to school? What's coming next?
Oh God, brain chips.
Oh my gosh, it's so weird. It's so weird. What do you think is the one thing, if you envision someone sitting in their car listening to this that is maybe building something or working towards something, what is the one thing that you did really well around money and building a life that is tactical, that can be implemented without, regardless of what stage of life someone is in?
Yeah. Number one, bet on me. Always bet on me. I think, I've heard people say, you're a crazy risk taker. You're why are you putting your own money into this? And it's because I will bet on me all day long. Everything that people think is security is just an illusion.
Yeah.
Even someone in their 30-year career at some company, they could get laid off next week. We're seeing it every day.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to bet on me. And so I invest my dollars into my growth, my education,
your wellness. And it's never led you wrong.
No.
No. And I think that anybody who, when I hear you say that for me, and you're like, anything can happen, and you don't think that it can, but when you've dealt with something like me with getting sick when I was a teenager and all those things, it makes you realize that, bet on yourself. Like you never know. And you don't like to sit in that thought for too long because uncertainty is terrifying for any of us.
Yeah.
But bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like, how people talk about like God winks or the universe. It's amazing how I would say in the last 2 weeks, the conversations I've had, either on the podcast or just in real life, where the topic of betting on yourself has come up. It's
really?
What does this mean? What's happening?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, where can people find you, follow along, and learn more about everything that you're doing?
Primarily LinkedIn. So Tonya Turrell on LinkedIn. I'm a little active on Instagram, but I have a hard time keeping up with it.
It's, it's where you are to keep up with all of us that are friends.
Exactly. But LinkedIn is primarily.
Is there anything going on in your life that you're super excited about right now?
I am really excited about the new tech we have coming out. It's a total pivot, and it's even had us switch up. Like our ICP was the IT buyer, and now we're going towards the vendor and supporting them. We've been hearing their pains for, the last couple of years. And like we had a call with a client yesterday who said, demand is never a problem, but we're just not converting. We're not getting the deals done. And so this is something that I teach. Like I do sales training with our clients. I've helped our clients build their inside sales teams and train them on all the things that we do. So I'm really excited because what this means for me is that this really intense services side of the business, we will ultimately wrap up and let that go and be able to serve in a different way, in a much bigger need through AI. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, I always enjoy obviously our time together and selfishly because you're a friend, but I think that in the world that you're in and the different perspective you bring into the space and just the type of work that you do, the type of person you do are stories that people will grow from and want to hear. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so fun.
It was so much fun. I think that, you don't realize the little things that can impact someone listening. And I think that there was a lot of that here. And I would love for you to come back anytime.
I would love that.
And for the rest of you, as always, as we wrap things up, I am so grateful that you choose to spend some of your precious time with me and listening to this podcast and investing in yourself. And how do we change your trajectory to success and what you're doing? And all of it starts with conversations like this and betting on yourself. So send this to a friend that needs to do the same, or just needs to change the type of conversations that you guys are all having. And until then, let's continue to change the way women think and feel about money together. Okay, so now to get to all the good stuff. The podcast is always fun, but this is where we get to know a little bit more about the real person behind, the story.
Yay,
so
more fun.
We're going to dive in.
Okay.
What is your favorite way to spend a day when you're not working?
Doing absolutely nothing. Reading like a good, juicy, not work related, not business related, not leadership related book.
Yes.
It's like a juicy novel.
Where are you? Are you at home? Are you at the beach, by the pool?
By the pool. Beach is a little far to get to. So
That's
I
true.
want to maximize my time just laying by the pool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Reading a good book. Okay. What is the one thing that people would be surprised to learn about you?
I have a black belt in Taekwondo.
What?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get that?
I did it all through childhood and got it, God, probably when I was about 15 or 16.
Have you ever had to use it? Like, have you ever been in a situation?
No, never.
Okay. That would be the coolest story ever. If you were like, well, this one time, this little old lady was getting her purse stolen walking across the street. But still, that's very impressive.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was back in a time when girls just didn't do that. It was like mid 80s.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
But here you are, black belt and all. Okay. So what would you say is your favorite thing to splurge on? Or what is something you've splurged on and you're like, that totally wasn't worth it? Whichever one you want to answer.
I just love to splurge. This is my problem. My favorite thing to splurge on. I mean, I love clothes. I love fashion. I can't help myself. So that's an addiction. I can't even say it's almost an addiction. It's an addiction.
It's fun.
It is fun. And then really, really nice luxe hotel stays when I'm away, especially on personal trips. Like I just want to feel
both of those
held.
are two of mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember growing up and thinking, when I travel, we are going to stay in nice hotels where you walk in the door and they're like, hello, Mrs. Taylor.
Yes.
It's nice to see you. And you're like, how do they know my name?
Yes, exactly.
I love that. And with fashion as well and clothes, it is just,
it's so much fun.
It's such a feel good moment.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. We just need to book a shopping trip somewhere that we have to stay in a hotel and we would be perfect travel partners.
That's my dream.
That'd be great, right? Okay. And, I know you love what you do, sure. But what is one hobby that if there were no constraints with like time or money or, any resource, what would you do?
As a hobby or like as
like
living?
A hobby?
Okay. I love all the like esoteric and spiritual things. So like I would just love to study. I'm such a nerd. Like I'm such an investigator and such a nerd that I really enjoy studying that kind of stuff. And then I would just do so much more yoga. Like I love it. It's the time where my brain shuts off. It's like a moving meditation
Maybe I
to
need
me.
To do yoga.
Sitting and meditating, my brain is active. But when I do yoga, I am finally in my body.
Okay.
And my brain just chills out for a little bit.
Oh, sounds delightful.
Yeah.
I love this. And I want to challenge you to not feel like it has to be money related. If it is, it's fine. But what is one piece of advice that someone gave you at some point in your life that has always resonated and stuck with you?
That's a good one. That's making me like search the archives. I mean, I don't want to say bet on yourself, but that is advice somebody gave me. And it's proved to be so true. But I feel like I've gotten so much good advice and also so much bad advice. So much bad advice. Another piece of good advice, and this is something my dad instilled in me growing up. He would never tell me what to do. He would always say, I have the answers. Like, I'm not going to tell you. You have the answers. You make your own decisions. What do you think you should do?
Oh, I love that so much. And as I'm sitting here and as soon as you said it's something my dad said, for me, my dad gave me so many silly pieces of advice that sounded silly. But then when you unpack them, you realize, oh my gosh, this is so applicable. Like he was a huge music guy and he used to say things that were lines from songs. And now I say them and I watch my kids go, what the hell does that mean, Mom? What are you talking about? And it's like, be true to your school. Like from the Beach Boys, be true to your school. And be true to yourself. And but I love that. I feel like dads are just a wealth of knowledge.
They are. Even though I really, really wanted him to tell me what to do.
I know, right? Okay, that's all great. But now what? Okay. And last one. What is one product that makes your life easier or that you just are obsessed with and would tell anybody listening, this thing is amazing?
Any kind of product?
Any product.
God, there are so many products that I can't live without. I mean, of course, today I can't live without Claude because it does everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
But in
Spoken
terms
like a
of
tech girl.
but in terms of a personal product, there is this oil. I picked it up in Greece when I was there last summer.
Ooh.
But now I found that I can order it from Amazon.
Okay.
You can get everything from
Amazon.
the Amazon.
I know.
And it is so luxurious. It smells so good. It smells like ancient priestess oil. Makes me feel powerful. I put it in my hair. I put it on my face. I put it all over my body. It's replaced sunscreen. I love it.
And it's one of those things that's now like your signature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it makes you happy.
It makes me so happy.
And
I give it away as gifts all the time. I make people smell it and then I give it away.
You know what? And that's truly what it's all about, is finding that thing that makes you smile, that fills your cup, and then sharing it with everyone else.
Yeah.
I love it.